So we're gonna do, yeah, Pierre Maguire. Yeah, fish lips. Alright, so figure out where we're at here. Okay, solving trig equations. That's what we're gonna do here, so I don't get all tied up. Okay, today, solving trig equations. And like I said, last stuff we'll do. Now there's two types because we've been talking in radian measures quite a bit here. So I'm going to just stick with the degrees though today, and then tomorrow I might show you one or two with radians, but I won't panic too much on it, okay? So we'll do a couple examples. So we're going to need our unit circles out for the ones that we call chartables and ones that we don't. So I'm going to put on here very much like solving for x in quadratics. So with factoring and all that kind of stuff. I'll do a quick example. I got 2 sine theta plus 1 equals 0. So there's our first example. Now theta is like our x. But remember, when it's sine and cos and tan, that's the one thing, right? So we want to isolate the trig ratio itself. So sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, whatever it is. And if it's a quadratic looking trig, functiony looking funny thing, we want to factor it in everything, like quadratics. So trinomial easies, difference of squares, all that kind of stuff, okay? So when we do this one, there's nothing to factor on here. So I just want to isolate the sine theta. So the first thing I'm going to do is what? Minus the 1 over. Let's do that. So that'll cancel. I'm left with 2 sine theta equals negative 1. And then what do I got to do with that 2? Divide it out. Great. Divide that out. Hey, sine theta is equal to negative 1/2. Now, normally, or when you get to your assignments, you'll see this little thing here. I'll do this. It'll be over on the side of the question or on your test question. It'll say 0 to theta all the way up to 360 degrees. And all that I'm asking you there is that's what I want your answer in. I want your answers, all the answers in between 0 and 360 degrees that work for this. Okay? If it was radian measures, I'll do that one in red, it'll look like this. From 0 all the way to theta, all the way to 2 pi. Okay? And that could be decimals because not all of them are chartable, but we'll get to those when we get to them. But we're just going to keep working on this one. Go to your unit circle. Some of you might not even need to use your unit circle right now. And tell me the answers, all the answers in degrees for theta. And we should have 2 of them. Where theta, sine theta equals negative 1/2. 210 degrees. And what else? And what? 330? Perfect. There's our answer. Okay? Is that right, Sarah? Look at negative 1/2. So that's going to be in the bottom part, right, of your unit circle. Okay? Okay? Is it all good? Okay. So let's go to the next page here. So I'm going to erase this one. And we'll do the same thing. So, like I said, it's just like solving for x, only a little bit different. Let's skip those ones. Let's go try one. I will do one more chartable one just to make it a little bit calmer. 2 cos theta minus root 3 equals 0. So we'll do another easy one, then we'll get into one that's not chartable. Okay? Again, we'll do this one in degrees. We'll keep the radian ones out for now. Okay? So again, just isolate cos theta. So I'm going to add that root 3 over. So I get 2 cos theta equals root 3 when I add that over. I'll divide the 2 out. And again, cos theta equals root 3 over 2. Positive. Now, I could theoretically put that I wanted the answers in between 0 and 180 degrees as well. Okay, it could be anything, 0 to 90. Okay, and you'll get that more in grade 12. Here we're not worried about that. We're just worried about solving for it and getting to know what it all means. So what are our answers for theta? $30, yeah. And theta 2 is 330 degrees. Perfect. And I mean, if you wanted to square off your answers, you can. Okay? So we'll do one where we gotta factor it now. Okay? Alright. Let's do this one right here. Example. We'll do a factoring one, then a non-chartable. 4 cos squared theta minus 1 equals 0. Okay. Now, I say factor, but this isn't one we really have to factor. But when we look at this question, our first thoughts are to isolate cos theta somehow. But if I look real close, I can recognize that it's a difference of squares. 4 is a perfect square. Cos squared is a perfect square. And 1's a perfect square. And they're separated by a minus. So I'm going to difference of squares this just to make our lives so we're following a simple thing. So 2 cos theta minus 1. 2 cos theta plus 1 equals 0. Now, if it was a quadratic, we would set both those factors equal to 0 and solve for them. So, here we go. 2 cos theta minus 1 equals 0. And 2 cos theta plus 1 equals 0. So again, we can just go isolate cos theta as it is. Cos theta equals a half. And in this one over here, cos theta equals negative 1/2. Somebody got some solutions for me? This one here should be 60 degrees. And it should be 300 degrees. Correct me if I'm wrong. And theta 3 should be 120, yep. And theta 4, what'd you say, D? 240 degrees? So we ended up using all the cosquares half or negative a half values, right? So we got 4 solutions for this one. Pretty slick, eh? So I'm going to call those ones chartable because we just go to the unit circle and we make them chartable.